that water is not safe to swim in. I wouldn't eat anything out of that water. I've seen the toxicology reports. So anyway, I think, those little ads you see with certain officials swimming in the ocean were probably taken somewhere else. They're probably taken in Hawaii or the Bahamas or somewhere else. But anyway, I think that stuff is still lurking under there. It's going up the coast, and we're going to see a lot more of that oil. And despite the ads, that you're hearing that everything's cool, go for a swim, eat the fish, no problem. It's not really cool, especially if you talk to somebody that's down there. But anyway, it's just time. We just need to wake up, basically, and smell the coffee and look what we're doing to each other and to the planet. And is it worth it? Is it worth it for those little green pieces of paper that aren't really worth anything other than what somebody's promising you they're worth? I mean, is it worth it to sell out your family, your future generations, to destroy the very platform for life? Is it really worth it? It's not. It's not worth it. You'd be better off getting yourself a little boat and fishing, if there's any fish left. But, take care of your food that way. Get back to nature, start growing your own food, raise your own food, pull out of this crazy system that we have, because it's not sustainable. It's definitely not sustainable, and the sun is about ready to put an end to that program. So if anybody's paying attention, we are moving into solar cycle 24, and the sun is expanding, and we are going to see some pretty major events coming. So I know everybody's going, you're a doom and gloomer. No, I'm not talking doom and gloom. I'm not talking prophecy. I'm talking science now. So if you look at the increase in earthquake and volcanic activity, you look at what the sun is doing right now, you look at these crazy storms and all these hurricanes backing up one after another, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Now it's statistics. It's not prophecy. So pay attention, pay attention to what's happening in your world. And if you're being prompted to get back to the land and change your vocation and, start working in harmony with each other in the highest and best good of humanity, Earth, then I would start listening to those inner promptings. And if you're feeling guilty about participating in actions which are harmful to humanity, Earth, I'd start listening to that guilt, because sometimes that's your soul telling you, look, you need to stop. This has karmic consequences, and it may have a long string of events behind it, of which you will be, involved. So it's time to break this chain. There are certain people within very high levels that are awake, that are waking up, and they're starting to come forward, and there is a percentage, you might say, of certain people that we do call the Illuminati, that are waking up and realizing this is a no-win situation, and they do understand karma and, action-reaction. So, it is happening. This is happening, but not on the level that some of the people are promising. And to me, there's like a false sense of security given when you make these channelings or whatever, or these prophecies, when it's not really happening in the outer world. So again, it's time to. I always say, it's time to repair on every level. With loving detachment. Focus on love. Love every aspect of yourself, even your physical body and your family, and take care of all of it on every level. That's the bottom line. Don't do it out of fear. Don't do it, out of againstness or anger or any of these other base emotions. Just love yourself, love your family, love the earth, and start acting accordingly. That's the ultimate. Because basically love is the manifesting force behind creation, and there are beings beyond your imagination. They're getting involved right now, and the earth is moving to the next level. And this old program is coming to an end, and which is the good news. And a lot of us have been waiting for that. So the good news is that changes are coming, and this is all part of it. And the higher beings that I talk to all the time are always talking about love and how love heals, and the planet will be healed, and we will move to the next level. We will continue, and those who pay attention and act on their own inner guidance and that are connected will be fine, in the days to come. But those who stay in denial and continue with actions that are harmful to humanity, Earth, and are not paying attention to their soul and spirit, they will get to, come back and do it all over again. And that's okay, because we're all eternal. So anyway, that being said, I'm hoping to get out to the field. We've got our field line here, and I wanted to talk to some of the people that have had some experiences. And we have a gentleman here that is going to be on the line shortly. A few of them. I'm not sure what the order is. I never do, because I'm in my little radio room, and the other phone is out in the field or in one of the other rooms, depending on the weather. So I don't really know who's going to come on first, but we've got some awesome guests, and they've taken some awesome pictures and had some awesome experiences here, and hopefully we can bring them on real soon. So, anybody at the studio there, maybe you can hook up that field line, and we can get out to the field here as soon as possible.
Sure.
All right, we've got the field line open. Ronnie, you're the man I want to talk to.
Okay, go ahead.
You showed me these pictures, and I know I saw them before, and I don't know what happened to them, but I really want to get another copy of those pictures. But they were like daylight sightings, and you actually, I guess you photographed them on your iPhone, didn't you?
No. I photographed them on my camera, but basically they were by chance. It was something that I was taking a series of photos in a circle and trying to get a picture of the whole panorama of your beautiful ranch here, and they showed up on the pictures after I reviewed them a little closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the way people get these pictures. It's not uncommon that people will say, I want to get a picture of the mountain, or I want to get a picture of my folks standing in front of the mountain, and then they go home and they look at their film, and there's these UFOs parked right behind them.
Right. That's exactly what it was, and it kind of ever since after that, it was oh man, I got to come back here and check it out. But I remember, I remember the light coming out of the mountain on one of my visits here, which was really interesting. It was like a doorway or some kind of a light that just came right out of the mountain. It was awesome.
And I know that you've got some photographs of these daytime photos. And could you talk a little bit about what they look like to you? And people say, well, that's a bug or a bird or whatever, and
right.
Maybe just talk a little bit about what you're seeing on the photograph.
Right. Well, on the photographs themselves, I have one that was really clear. It was super clear, and it was almost, you could see the reflection of the sun shining off the top of this disc, and it was dome-shaped, and it was it definitely wasn't a plane, because you can see the shape of it, and it definitely wasn't a bird, and it was just, I truly believe, a ship that was just coming across the horizon there, and you can see there was movement to it. It wasn't something that was sitting still. It was definitely movement to the object itself. The second picture was way up in the clouds, and that one I had to actually kind of zoom in on it, and it was triangular shape with the same reflection of the sun coming off the top of this object. It was. I will definitely get you those pictures, most definitely. It was. They were awesome.
Now, do you have the original pictures in the high definition?
Yes, I do.
Great. Yeah, that's what we want to get so we can do some, analyze these. I know when I looked at them right away, I mean, I had no doubts whatsoever. And people think I'm just some woo-woo crazy hippie dude up on a mountain, which is far from the truth. I've spent quite a few years working with the top physicists on the planet, basically. And I'm very analytical. I have an open mind, and pure intent and loving heart, but I'm also very analytical about a lot of things, and I I try to think, okay, what else could this be, other than the obvious? And I try to come up with something else. And when I looked at those photos, I mean, I had no doubt when I looked at them that, that's a UFO. Look at the energy fields. Look at the sun reflecting off of it. No doubt whatsoever when I saw those that those are a ship. It's not a bird or a crow and a lot of times I take pictures of birds and it's very clear just on purpose, and crows or eagles flying up there. And it's so clear that these are birds. I mean, undeniable.
But these were cylindrical shape, and the really neat thing about it, these were daytime photos. They weren't something shot at night. I mean, it was just like right in the middle of the afternoon, and they were just clear as day. And so that was great. And
I hope you brought your camera.
I've been back ever since.
Yeah, I hope you brought your camera.
I did. I had to go down to the store and buy a couple more batteries and taken about 2,000 shots out here in the field. Trying to take some night shots of the orbs. I took one earlier. I'm not sure if you remember it, but we were out here, I think it was '07, and I showed you a picture of the orbs, of the whole field of orbs, but to the right you told me it was a kind of a energy being. I'm not sure if it was a cluster of orbs, but it looked like a person standing there, and it kind of blew me away, and I had to show you that one. It was a couple of years ago. I'll get that one to you, too. That field is just full of orbs.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome.
What I've seen is these orbs will actually coalesce, and all of a sudden they'll all come together and they turn into a being. And, that's when Khan, he's a Japanese monk, was here. He actually saw this beautiful green and gold light, an orange light above him. And so he took a picture, and the next light, there were all these beautiful colors of orbs and light spheres all coming in together. And then they all coalesced into a being, and it was Kuan Yin. And it was just, when you look at the picture, it's undeniable. She has the vessel in her hand and riding on the dragon, and just beautiful picture of Kuan Yin. And so he got that. And then I asked him, I said, well, there's this being I work with, Ezekiel, and when we were doing the initiations, the Qigong and the Kunlun initiations, he kept trying to do an initiation on him, and he bounced off just laughing, and he said there's this giant golden ball of energy there that bounces him off. And so I asked him, I said, well, next time you see it, can you get a photograph of that? And so he was out in the field meditating. It appeared to him, and here's this huge golden ball of light with wings on it, bright light, and in the background it looks like Jerusalem or some crystal city or something like that in the background. And I mean, you've been in that field. There's nothing in that field, wouldn't you say?
No, there is nothing in that field, but there is something there, most definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no city or crystalline city or anything else, not on this level.
No, not
but he took. He also got a photograph of these felines, which I'll show you. I don't know if you've seen those yet, but these 12-foot tall felines appeared to him, and it's amazing because we've been talking about this, and I had to get artists to draw these things, and now they're actually being photographed.
Wow.
And you get people like him who are extremely high in frequency anyway. He's able to bridge that gap between worlds and actually photograph these beings.
Wow. Yes. So yeah, it was an awesome trip back here again, and hopefully I'll see something tonight. The weather is perfect tonight for a good sky watch. I mean, there wasn't a cloud in the sky, and I think the moon is at just a little sliver, so not a lot of light pollution, and so. See what happens tonight.
Yeah, I think it feels like it's going to be a good night. I know last night there was a few power-ups that came over real early. They came in and powered up twice, responding to the lasers, and we've been double checking and making sure these aren't known satellites. When they do come in, and we had one event that we still can't wrap our head around, but supposedly it was at the same time the space station was coming in, so we aren't putting it out there, but it was massive. It came in very low, and what we did is when we filmed it, And I looked at the time when the space station came out. It wasn't that bright, not as bright as this thing was.